Okay. So the Gemara says we are now Chodesh Tov by the Gemara here Ushar Shkatzim 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines from the wide lines. From the beginning of the wide lines, count 8 lines. By the 2 dots, Ushar Shkatzim Uremasim. So, what happened? The Mishnah said the 8 shratzim you're going to be chayav if you wound them, but all the other shkatzim and masim, if you wound them, you're going to be patur. Any other type of disgusting crawling creatures or crawling things, if you chovel, you're patur. Okay? Why? Because since their skin is not really considered hide, it's not really considered thick. So when you wound them, that red that comes is going to dissipate soon, and you didn't really die and you didn't really kill. Whatever the reason for being chayav when you wound the 8 shnatzim is because the wound, there's real loss of blood. The blood gathers under that spot of the skin and it's ruptured and it stays there. So that was like you killed the animal. You didn't kill it, but you killed a little bit because every drop of blood is life. Or you died because that area becomes colored. Okay. But that's not by all the other ones. By all the other shkatzim and ramasim, the blood doesn't really gather there, so it's just going to flow back. It's like if you smack somebody like this. So they get red for about 5 seconds. And then the blood slowly runs back. So therefore, you're not going to be chayav. So the Gemara says, it makes an inference. Okay, ha-horgan chayav. But it sounds like that if you actually kill them, okay, you're going to be chayav. Which means if you let blood come out of them, or you kill them mamash, then you are chayav. Says the Gemara mantana. Means if you take shkatzim could be like tiny little bugs, like lice, we're going to see now. And you kill a louse, you're going to be chayav. Says the Gemara, who holds that? That on Shabbat, if you kill a louse, you're going to be chayav. Omer Rabbi Yirmiyah, Rabbi Eliezer, it's Rabbi Eliezer. The Tanya, as we learned in the Braita, Rabbi Eliezer, Omer Arei Kina b'Shabbat, ki horega mal b'Shabbat. If someone kills a kina is a lice on Shabbat, it's as if he killed a camel. Why does he use camel? Camel's a huge animal. So he's showing you killing lice is like killing any other animal, and you're going to be chayav. Okay, now what do the other Tanaim hold? They don't agree with Rabbi Eliezer. They say that since a lice doesn't really have any bones or veins, therefore that's not really anything. Therefore, any other animal that's like that also you won't be chayav. But our Mishnah that says ushar shkatzim uremasim, all other shekets is vermin, these types of things, you're chayav. You're patur if you're chovel. But the Gemara says, but you see that you're chayav if you kill. That's going like Rabbi Eliezer. Ma'adkel of Rabbi Yosef, ad kam li pligi Rabban Aleh, Rabbi Eliezer el bekino. Rabbi Yosef understands the machlokes differently. He says, they only argue be'ekino. Avol shar, why the ena paravarava? Because it doesn't reproduce. Avol shar shkatzim uremasim diparim v'ravin lo pligi. But all other types of shkatzim uremasim, which reproduce, they don't argue and they say that if you kill them, you're going to be chayav. What? I'll explain in a second. But the Gemara is saying, what's the Gemara's point for a second? It's a good point. Seemingly it does, of course. How can that be Peruvu? The Gemara is saying, they both use the elim that they used to trap and kill for their hides in the Mishkan. That is the model for the Isur of killing on Shabbat. But Rabbi Eliezer said, Ke'ilim has to be similar to Elim Ma'ilim Sheyesh V'Nitilat Neshama. Of course, Sheyesh V'Nitilat Neshama. You have to have Nitilat Neshama. And therefore, as long as there is, you took away the life of the live thing, you're chayav. Rabbanan Savri Ke'ilim Ma'ilim Deparim V'Ravin. Just like rams, you killed something that has continuity because it will reproduce. I've called it Parav V'Raveh. So to everything else. So let me just finish the end of the Gemara and then I'll explain what, because Amalei Abaya V'Kina Ein Parav V'Raveh. So you're telling me here that Kina, it doesn't reproduce. HaKadosh Baruch Hu sustains every single creature from the horns of the Re'imim. The Re'im is huge, has beautiful horns. So all the way up to the highest spot in the horns, to the eggs of the kilim, of the lice. So it sounds like what? Little baby lice that just came out of their eggs. So we see lice reproduce. So the Gemara says, Minuhu demiki beitzekinim. There's a certain type of lice that are called beitzekinim, eggs of lice. But it doesn't really mean hatched lice, no such a thing. So the Gemara says, Vatanya tfuye u beitzekinim. Another brayse actually quoted, it says, tfuye and beitzei kinim. So you see that beitzei kinim, they actually have beitzim. So the Gemara says here too, minu de mikri beitzei kinim. It's a species of lice that's called beitzei kinim. But really, they don't reproduce, they don't have eggs, they don't, so Amnon asked, what do you mean? Of course they reproduce. So, they have eggs, call them nits, right? So the Achronim say that since many of those nits are too small to be seen by your eye, you need a microscope or something. So in halacha, they're not considered there. Because the Torah wasn't given to angels. If you can't see it, then you can't be liable, you can't, okay?
If you kill one on Shabbat, you wouldn't be chayav.
Exactly. So because since to people it doesn't look like they reproduce, because you can't see it, different halacha, they don't reproduce. And since they don't reproduce in halacha, and we learn it from the elim, according to the Rabbanan, and the elim, we see that they reproduce, therefore, in the halacha, you're allowed to kill them. Exactly. What, you want to know if you're allowed to do b'mezid? Well, usually we say, right. So the Gemara says, that's what I would say. Right now. Maybe we'll see soon. Says the Gemara, V'harei parosh, the parav v'rova v'tanya atzot parash b'shabbos, Rabbi Eliezer mechayev Rabbi Yeshua poiter. So, a parash is a flea. It for sure reproduces. And yet, it says here that if you trap a flea, okay, Rabbi Eliezer says chayav. Okay? And Rabbi Yeshua says patur. So you see that Rabbi Yeshua says patur, even on something that does reproduce. So you're telling me that the machloket between Rabbi Eliezer and those who argue with him doesn't have to do with the fact that it has that it doesn't have bones and all that. It has to do with pareh v'raveh. So why would Rabbi Yeshua argue on a parosh? Parosh clearly is pareh v'raveh, and still he says patur. Omar Avashi tzida hariga karamis. You're asking a kasha from tzeda. We were talking about killing. Machloket. And what was your proof from a case of trapping? Ad kan op de Rabbi Yeshua el demar stovar tov shem minoy nitzoit chayov umar stovar potur. Aval inyan hariga afil Rabbi Yeshua mode. In regards to hariga, of course Rabbi Yeshua is mode that you're going to be chayav because it reproduces. The question was, if you trap it, there Rabbi Yeshua says you're not going to be chayav. You know why? Because that species is not generally trapped. Okay, but killing has nothing to do with trapping. Has to do with taking a neshama away. And as long as it's pareh v'raveh, Rabbi Yeshua will agree that you're going to be chayav. Okay. So now the Mishnah said that if you trap all other shkatzim v'remasim, if you would trap them litzorech for a need, you're going to be chayav. You have to have some sort of need, a positive need that you're going to gain something from them, benefit from them. But if it's just that you trap them not for any need that you're going to get from them, you're going to be patur. So the Mishnah says like this: Man Tana, Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Rav Shimon, the Omer Balacha Shein Tzich Legufa Patur Aleh. Rav Shimon says you have to be able to gain something out of this, not just that you wanted to do it for some ancillary purpose, something else, like so they shouldn't harm you. Because you're not getting anything from trapping this. You're not getting anything out of that. It's just if you contain it over here, then something else will be okay. And you won't get something. That's not a positive purpose in the melacha itself, in this itself. And therefore it's en etzrich legufo, and that's why you're potter. And that's why the Mishnah says potter, because it's going according to Rabbi Shimon. Ika demasti loaho. Some say that when Rav said, Rabbi Shimon, he was actually talking about another Mishnah, not this Mishnah. And it says like this: Hamapis Musa b'Shabbos. If you you break open, we had this yesterday, a boil, if you're trying to make a mouth for it, you're making a petach, Rashi said, bone, chayav. But if you just want to remove all of its pus, patur. Mantana on that, right? Because even though at the end of the day, you made a hole, right? So you're making a patish, or you built. So since the hole is not for itself, just to remove something else, and you don't really care about it's not, you didn't make this for having a hole in here, it's for creating, for making it a better wound, for being attacking the wound. You just want to remove something that's trapped inside. So therefore, it's a malacha she'en etzricha legufo, and you are potter. By the way, why can't you say it's also ein mechaven? Because what I'm mechaven is to get the potter. The answer is you're mechaven. Mechaven to make the hole. Just it's ein etzricha legufo. So on that is where Rav said that it's going according to Rabbi Shimon. The Ika dematin laha, and there are those who teach the member of Amar Rav Yehuda Rav that the Mishnah is like Rabbi Shimon on a whole nother Mishnah. Which one? Hatzad nachash b'Shabbat im mitastek bo shelo yishchenu patur. Someone traps a snake. We had this also yesterday. If you're just getting involved in this whole trapping so it shouldn't bite you, that's patur. Im l'refuah chayav. But if you want to get medicinal properties to extract them from the snake itself, so you want something positive from the snake, then you chayav. Man tana Rav Shimon patur alel. Since Rav Shimon holds that it has to be tzricha legufa, so therefore when I'm trapping it so it shouldn't harm me, so I'm not gaining anything out of the trapping. I'm not taking something from the melacha of trapping. Through the trapping, I'm just saving myself from harm. That's ein tzricha legufa in your potter. Omar Shmuel, hashoyled dag min hayom. Take a fish out of the sea, kiven sheyov hashpoi kesela chayiv. Once it's dried out, and there's a spot on it the size of a sela, you're chayiv. Why? Let's say the fish is still alive and you throw it back in the water. You should know it's dead already. It's not going to live, even if it's flip-flopping about. It's not going to make it. Because once it has a spot on it that is dry as the size of a coin called a sela, it's not going to make it. So you already killed it. Omer Rav Yosi bar Oven uvein snapirov. That rule of a sela has to be, the dry spot of a sela has to be between its fins. Omer Rav Ashi lo yitema yovish mamish elo afilu da'avadri. It doesn't have to actually be dry, but as long as it produces a little bit riri is like slime, you touch it, and then like the slime follows your finger. That's already dry enough that it's considered dead. Omer Mar Bahamduri Omer Shmuel Hoishit Yodel Lemei Behema V'dildel Uber Chayav. You put your hand inside the innards of the animal, and you dislocated the baby inside, the embryo inside it. You're chayav. Basically, you cause it to miscarry. Now, what are you chayav for? Since an embryo doesn't really have any life to it, so really the Gemara is going to say you're not chayav for taking a life, because it's not alive yet in an animal, right? And other things also. Some learn that you are chayav for that, but l'maisa the Gemara is going to say it's oike davar migiduloi, because you're uprooting something from its place, from where it grows. My time Omer Ava, but I'm doing. I was really love Omer Av Sheishus. I'm on the Tolish Keshusa Mehizmi Vihigi Mechai B'Shem Oike Davar Migiduloi Hachanami Mechai B'Shem Oike Davar Migiduloi. Didn't Rav Sheishus say that someone who uproots Keshuta Mehizmi, hops from the thorns? Hizmi is low bushes. There's a certain type of species, briars, brambles, whatever they are. And the hops grow like above them, and they nourish from the ground. Okay? So if you just took the hops off of them, okay, you're also chayiv. Why? Because you're oike davar nigidulei. You uprooted something from the place that it grows. Omer Abaye, one more case. Haiman de tolash pitra me'una de chatzva mechayiv mishum oike davar nigidulei. Someone who removes the fungus from the handle of a pitcher, you're also chayiv because of oike davar nigidulei. So you see what? So you see that things don't have to grow from the ground, and you can already be chayiv for oike davar mishum nigidulei, like ktsira, like yeah. So Moshe Rav Moshe said what? But there's a Mishnah that says "Atoilish me'otzes nokov chayiv, she'ein nokov patur." If the flower pot has a hole, you're going to be chayav. If it doesn't have a hole, you'll be patur. Why? Because it's not growing from the ground. Yeah, but you're still uprooting it from where it grows from. So why don't you chayav for oike davar mishum geduloi? So the Gemara says Hasam lal haynu revise, because that's not its usual place of growth, says the Gemara. Usually, where do you grow and sow a plant? In the ground. Okay? But, in all these cases of Pitra Me'una de Chatzva, or the cases before, the hops, or the case before was the person put his hand inside and he dislocated the embryo, right? It caused the animal to miscarry. All those cases, that's where it grows. Since that's its natural place to grow and you uprooted it, so therefore you're going to be chayav. Okay. So now, let's go back to our Mishnah. In our Mishnah we said, the last words, chayav of shebeishuto, Hatzadam patur, v'achover behen chayav. Chayav off, that's under your control. So if you trap them, you're exempt, because they're already trapped. However, so even if you put them into your hand, you get them more trapped, it's nothing. V'achover behen chayav. But if you bruise them, then you're going to be chayav, because they do have hides, and bruising them is considered a malacha of netilat neshama or tziviyah, depending on how you understand it, or dying or killing. Dying like D-Y. Okay, fine. So the Gemara says, Amar Avuna, Koisvin tefillin agabi or shel oif tahor. Tefillin may be written on the hides of a kosher bird. It has to be kosher because it says Leman tiyeh Torat Hashem beficha. In tefillin, we say that the Torah of Hashem should be in your mouth, and you have to wear tefillin. And the Gemara dashens that it means that it has to be dvarim hamutarim beficha. Things, you have to write tefillin on things that are allowed to be put into your mouth. So the animal has to be kosher. But there's another chidush over here that it doesn't only mean an animal; it means even a bird. Oh, so what's the chiddush? I mean, it's kosher, so what's the chiddush? Omer Rav Yosef, my kamashulon, what is the chiddush? The itle or. We already learned that tefillin have to be written on klaf, right? There's a whole shaila duchsus. Remember the other part of the klaf when you cut the hide in the middle? Which side do you write them on? Fine. It has to be written on hides. So the chiddush, says Rav Yosef, of Rav Huna, is that birds don't just have some sort of thin skin, but it's really called or, it's really called klaf. And you can write it on it. Tanino, he says, that's a chiddush. We already have a Mishnah. It says, Achovel behen chayav. Obviously they have hides, because if you bruise them, you're going to be chayav. And the only things that you're going to be chayav for when you bruise, which animals? The animals that have real hides. Because we said all the other shkatim and rumasim, besides the 8 shratim that don't have real hides, are patur, because we said it's like slapping a person's hand. The blood runs back, it doesn't gather, so you didn't really cause any loss of blood, of life, or you didn't really die, and therefore you're not going to be chayav. However, chayav off, that the Mishnah said hachovel behen chayav, that if you bruise them you're going to be chayav. It's obvious that the Mishnah holds a why chayav, because they do have hides, and the blood gathers there, and therefore you caused a loss of blood, of life. So why does Rav Huna have to tell us? It's not Rav Huna's chidush that they have hides. We have it we see from our Mishnah for the fact that you chayav when you chovel behen. It's a very big chiddush that you can write tefillin on them. Because if it was only from our Mishnah, I would have thought since they're full of holes, so you would have thought that it's not good for tefillin. Why? Because the Torah says uchtav-tam. Uchtav-tam means perfect writing. It can't have any breaks in the letters. And you would think if you write on a parchment that has holes in it, there's going to be little breaks in the letters, and that won't be okay. Komash malan keda'amri b'marava kol nekev shadyo yoiveres alov ein a nekev. Because they say in the west, which is Eretz Yisrael, any hole that the ink passes by, which means that it doesn't sink into it, is not considered a hole. So it's going to be okay. And that's the chidush of Rav Huna. Made for Reb Zera. Reb Zera says, there's a breita that says, Bichnafav. When the Torah talks about the carbon oil, the Torah writes that you have to tear the carbon oil before the bird. Before you burn it on the mizbeach, you have to tear it. And over there it says bichnafav, with its feathers. Meaning, you have to tear it you already killed it through the malika, but now you have to tear it open while the bird's feathers are still on. Okay? So there are two types of feathers on the bird. The big ones, the large ones, they're hard, and there's the soft plume, the fluffy ones. Okay? So the Gemara says, the Braita says that Bichnafav comes to teach you that the skin is also burnt on the Mizbeach, Bichnafav, with its flesh. If you're going to tell me that what? That the feathers of a bird are considered the hide, the halacha is that the hifshit is a oila. Whenever you bring an oila, you always have to skin it, take off the hides. So you're telling me now, the Torah says, bichnafav, you burn it with the feathers. But you're telling me that the feathers and all that part of the animal are considered hides. So why don't you skin it? So for the fact, okay, it's a pasuk, that's why. You think that the animal bird is going to have the same halachas, the ola bird is going to have the same halachas as the animal ola. You've been right, and therefore, bichnafав, you would not have put all the knafayim, even the little ones next to it. You're right, but the Torah goes ahead and says it's different. This one you don't skin, you burn it on the mizbeach. Ikadamri. Others say that what Rabbi Zera actually said was like this. Rabbi Zera afananami tanino. Rabbi Zera was bringing a proof. Why? Because it says bichnafav l'rabot ta'or. Bichnafav is coming to include the or. I'amid bishlama orhu. If you say it's real hides, that's why the Torah had to include it with a special pasuk, because you would have thought that it's like the animal ola and doesn't go on the mizbech. But if it's not hides, said Reb Zera brought a proof. Then why would the Torah have to go and say, make sure you put them on the mizbech? Of course, you have to burn the whole ola. The only part I would think you don't have to burn is the part that you don't do by the animal, which is the hides. But if it's not hides, why would I need a pasuk to come and include it? And to that Abaye said, you don't have a proof. To Reb Zera. Really, I'll tell you, it's not hides. If it's not hides, so why do I need a pasuk to tell me that I should burn it? And I still need a pasuk, because I would have thought, since it has little holes, moist, kamash malon, it's repulsive to go up on the mizbeach, and it doesn't belong there. Kamash malon, therefore the Torah has to teach you that it does, but not because it's hides. The chiddush is not because it's hides and it still goes on the mizbeach, which Reb Zera thought it was, according to this version of Reb Zera. But rather, the chiddush is that you put something that is kind of repulsive on the mizbeach. The Torah says you do it anyways. Mar, the son of Ravino, asked Rav Nachman bar Yitzchok, can you write it on top of the hide of a kosher fish? You take a salmon and you write your tefillin on the salmon. Very vogue, new style. There's going to be new talis bags and salmon things, and you wrote it on salmon. It's in style. You know we're going to know the answer if Eliyahu Hanavi comes and tells us. We don't know. So the Gemara says, what does that mean? He's going to come and tell us if that is considered hides or not, if that's called or not, and therefore, if you work it and you tan it, it's considered klaf, which is a requirement for tefillin. What do you mean? You can look for yourself. You see it has skin. That's called or. Why not? So the oid, and furthermore, Hatanan, we learned in the Mishnah that a fish has or. It says atzmot hadag, the bones of a fish, ve'oro, and its hide, right there. Matzil ba'il hames. What's the law that it teaches there? They save things from becoming tamei in an oil hamet. Okay. So we said that if you have items that are inside and they're separated by a tzamid patil, in a sealed earthenware vessel, then it'll become tamei. So it has to be sealed by what? By something that's not mekabel tumah. So the Mishnah says the bones of a fish are not mekabel tumah, and so is the hide is not mekabel tumah. So now, why is the skin of a fish not mekabel tumah? You know why? Because it's not part of a live thing. Because it's not the flesh. It's separate, it's independent of the flesh. It's hide. Just like the bones are not the flesh. Only the flesh can be mekabel tumah because of oichlin, but the hide and the bones are separate. Now, if the hide wasn't really hide, it was just like the outer covering, thin covering of the flesh, then it would be part of the flesh and it would be mekabel tumah, and it wouldn't save things inside the cup. So obviously this Mishnah is really rendering the skin of the fish as really something different than the flesh, and it's really being rendered as hide. So therefore we see clearly, so you should be able to write tefillin on the salmon. So what do you mean when Eliyahu Hanavi is going to come? He's going to tell us. Elohim Yavo Eliyahu v'yoymar iposka zu aminei lo iposka zu aminei. Eliyahu Hanavi will be able to tell us whether a fish skin, after it's tanned, it stops smelling bad. Zuama is like a bad smell, sweaty, fishy smell. So that disqualifies it. So it's not, now even though obviously probably if you try to tan it, then it won't smell. Because if it did smell, we don't need Eliyahu Hanavi. Eliyahu Hanavi will tell you, even though you don't smell it, but it still has that zuama coming out of it. A little bit, he would know, it's still not, so therefore you can't write it because it's not kavod. Now the Ran doesn't like this pshat because he says, what do you mean, you need Eliyahu Hanavi to come? So what, Eliyahu Hanavi has like the best nose? Like he still has, even though you don't smell it. I could smell it. That's what, so he says, Zuama means some sort of impurity. Some sort of like Zuama, like it says that we had in Zuama when we did the Egel, right? And when we were at Har Sinai, Pascha Zuama, all the Zuama came off. Some sort of spiritual impurity. That's what he's going to tell us about the fish. Things that we need Eliyahu for. Okay. A story. Shmuel v'karna haviyas v'aguda din har malka. Baruch Hashem, we're back over here. It beats Zoom by a lot. Sorry for yesterday. It's your balagan over there. I diet cook. Shmuel, the Karna Haviyat v'aguda din har malka. Okay, Shmuel and Karna were sitting by the banks of the Nahar Malka, of the river of the Queen, the royal river. The royal river. The Torah mentions 4 rivers that come out of Eden. The king of all of them is Nahar Malka, is the Euphrates River. Okay? They were sitting on the banks of the Euphrates River in Bavel. They saw that the water was rising. Va'achire, and I thought achire meant it was dark. What does turbid mean? Turbid. I think turbid means like moving like wild, you know. But I thought achire means more like. I guess Rashi says It really means pain. Well, we're going to see soon that Rashi is going there. Okay, anyways, what happened was like this. Omer Shmuel the Karna. So Shmuel said to Karna, what's going on there? Gavri Rabbi Kosti mi Marova. V'chayesh v'mei. V'kodolu mai like buli ape kamei. It must be that there's a very great person coming from Eretz Yisrael from the west, and he has a stomachache. And the water is rising to greet him. Means he needs to relieve himself. He needs to go to the bathroom. And the water, now this is like Ruach HaKodesh, straight Ruach HaKodesh. This is not like, scientific. Shmuel said it must be that the water is rising to relieve himself by the sides of the boat. And therefore, the water comes up, so he has privacy, and he's able to clean himself. Now, even though the winds weren't blowing, the water was rising, and it was churning about. That's why Shmuel was able to tell Beruach Koche that something was going on. There was like a miracle going on for this Talmid Chacham in the ocean, and he figured this whole thing out. Beruach Koche. So he said, "Zil tehelek akankane." This lashon we find many times in Shas. Go like bang him. Go smell tohile. Smell his barrel, which means go check him out. What type of Talmid Chacham he is? Okay. See if he's a real Talmid Chacham. So Tosfos says over here, by the way, Tosfos says a little bit of a different shot. He knew that the person was going to drink from the water. Anyways, he's saying, go sniff him out so I can treat him. If he's a real Talmid Chacham, I want to treat him, because Shmuel was a great doctor. And I want to honor him and bring him to my house and give him all sorts of medicines and everything. And I'll accord him the honor that he deserves to be accorded. Okay. Ozal Ashkechele Rav. Karna went and found Rav. Rav was the Gadol Adoyer, the great Rav. Omar Lei, Minayin Shein Koisim Tefillin El Al Gabi Or Behemoth Tohiro. How do you know that you're only allowed to write tefillin only on top of or of a behemoth Torah? Omalo dichtiv l'man tiyeh Torah Hashem b'ficha, because it says that the Torah of Hashem should be in your mouth. When you wear tefillin, the Torah will min hamutar b'ficha. It has to be something that's able to be placed into your mouth, and it's permitted. Minayin l'dam shu adom. Karna asked him, how do you know that the blood that comes from a woman, from a lady, when dam nida, has to be red for it to be tameh? Can't be any other blood any other color. Shenemar v'yir'u moav mineged et hamayim adumim. Kadam. That the Moavim, they saw the water from far away, and it looked red like blood. So what do you see from there? You see that there's a pasuk that describes blood as red. Minayin l'milah sheva'oto ma'akam. How do you know Brit Milah is in that place? Maybe somewhere else. Doesn't say in the Torah there. Nemar kan or lato v'nemar lahalan or lato. Since it says or lato by Brit Milah, and it says or lato in regards to what? To
Tree.
Yeah, the tree, the first 3 years. So just Malahalan Dovasho is the pri, Afkan Dovasho is the pri. Just like over there. It's a tree which produces fruit. So here too it has to be a place, Sha'is the pri, which that produces fruit. So the Gemara says, Eimel Liboy. So maybe you do Brit Milah on the heart. Okay? Now, how could you do? What do you do? A heart transplant, a heart. So the Rishonim say that of course, he didn't mean it. He said something that didn't make sense, but he was just trying to test Rav. And some say that that's how Rav figured out that he was just there to see what type of person he was. But why would I think that heart is the place anyways? Dichtiv umaltem eit orlat levavchem. You're telling me you know it from arla, right? You learn from trees, but it also says arla by the heart. That it was you at the end of days you'll do teshuvah. I'll bring Mashiach, right? The psukim over there in Vayelech, Nitzam Vayelech Hazinu. Hashem will bring back Mashiach. Umaltem, He will circumcise the arla, the foreskin of your heart, which means all the garbage that we put on our heart. Hashem will remove it. If we come back, we start off, then Hashem will finish off the teshuvah and He'll help us. He'll remove everything. So you see that arla is written by heart. So maybe that's what it means over here. Or ema oznoi, d'chtiv hine arei lo oznom. The ear is blocked with an oral. So maybe you do the Brit Milah on the ear. So Rav said, donen orlosoi tamo mi orlosoi tamo. Bein donen orlosoi tamo mi orlas she'ena tamo. Meaning, over here, the letters are lasoi. By Brit Milah, it says orlato. And by the trees, it also says orlato. So that's a complete writing of the word orlato. Why? Because it says
and by the heart, it's not tameh, it's not full.
I think the difference is because over here it says I think over here it says it's not a complete word. Why is it not a complete word? Because it doesn't say orlato. His, orla. So it's not really referring to whose. So therefore we'd rather use orlato, they're much more similar. Omalei mashmach, what do they call you? So he said karna. So Rav gave him like a curse. Omalei, yehi ravo, let it be the will of Hashem. The tepikle karna be'eni. That you should grow a karna, a horn, out of your eye. Okay? Like a growth, like a pimple in your eye.
Can I tell you? You're finished.
Okay?
You finished already?
Almost, soon. So the Gemara says, L'soif aydu Shmuel lebeite. Shmuel took Rav into his house. Oichli nama desare v'kosa deharsana. He gave him barley bread. And kosa deharsana are like little fish that you fry with in the fish fat and kemach and some flour. The ashki shichra, and he gave him beer to drink. The loy achule beisakise, and he didn't show him where the bathroom was. So he'll have diarrhea. Loy terava omar man de mitzaron loy loykim olei boni. V'chein hava. Whoever's causing me to suffer will not be survived by sons. V'chein hava, because he only had daughters and he never had sons. The Gemara says that Rav thought he's just giving him pain. But he didn't realize that he was doing it to cure him. And later on, he gave him a lot of respect. Because he realized that Shmuel was trying to give him honor. And even though he gave him the curse in error, but the Gemara says that Kil las chacham works afilu b'tnai, afilu b'tois. And that's what happened to Shmuel. Shmuel never had sons. Okay. Says the Gemara, Kitanoi. This question that he asked him, how do you know where bris milah is already machlokes tanoim. Nema kanar losoi, v'nema lahalon losoi, malahalon davashoy sepri, avkan davashoy sepri. Divrei Rabbi Yosha. So we saw. That's Rabbi Yosha. Rabbi Natan omer eino tzarich. You don't need this gzer shov. Hareu omer, because it says ve'arel zachar shelo yimol b'sar or lato. Arel zachar, someone, a male, who is an arel, who is not yimol. So the arelus is on the zachrus. Mokoim shenikar bein zachrus and nakvus. Why does it have to say zachar? It already said in the psukim that we're talking about a zachar. That's who has to get the Brit Milah. So the fact that it says ve'arel zachar means the arelus is on the place where it's recognizable if he's a zachar or nekeva. And that's how we know that it's over there. Tanu Rabbanan kotin tefillin al gabe or behema tehora val gabe or chaya tehora val gabe or nevelot utfreot shelahin. You're allowed to write tefillin on the hides of a kosher animal or a kosher wild animal, or on the hides of these animals, these species, even if they're not kosher because these specific ones were died without shchita, that's called nevela or trefor, they had an injury, because their species is kosher, that's enough. Okay? Now, why? If we learn it out from Dvarim, the Manti Torah Hashem Beficha has to be able to go into your mouth. Who cares that the species is kosher? But this is not kosher because it's in a Ve'la Torah. We'll see in a minute. V'nikrachot b'se'aran. And the tefillin are then wrapped in the hair. Okay? Is to tie them with little hairs from these animals. V'nitparot b'gidan. And they're sewn, the parchment, with the sinews of these animals. V'halacha l'Moshe Sinai she'atfil nikrachot b'se'aran. And this is the halacha l'Moshe Sinai. Okay, that you need a kosher animal to wrap and to sew with the sinews. Has to be from a kosher animal. But if it's not in a kosher species, you can't. And for sure not on a nevela or treifa of these species, right? Ve'ein nikrachim b'saran, ve'ein nitparot b'gidan, because we have l'chol Moshe Sinai. V'zu she'ei l'shol by tusi echad es Rabbi Yeshua Hagarsi. And the following question was asked from one Baitusi to Rabbi Yeshua Hagarsi. The Baitusim were the beginning of the Tzedukim. Okay? Tzedukim, Tzodok and Baitus with Talmidim of Antignis Ben Seicha that went off the derech when he said, right? Al tiu ki avodam ha'mishanshem nesarav ha'manas l'kal pras. So they went off the derech from that, and they left the ways of the Torah. So one of these Baitusim asked Rabbi Yeshua Hagarsi the following thing: Minayin she'en koitzim til al or behema tmei. How do you know? So he told him, "Dichtiv leman tia Torah Hashem beficha, in your mouth. Midavar amuta beficha." Elo meyatos. So then the Baitusi asked him, "Al gabi on avelo to treifot al yikatevu." So you shouldn't be able to write them on avelo to treifot. Om aloi emshul chamashul. I'll give you a mashul. Lama davar doime. The shnei bnei adam shenischay ba'arigla malchus. Echad, two people were condemned to die by the kingdom. Echad hargei melech, echad hargei ispakliter. One was executed by the king himself, and one was by the chief executioner. The one that was executed by the king was a superior guy. Okay? So he's saying like this, that if a person shechts a cow, that's very chashuv, because he was involved. But if Hashem kills the cow, it's even more elevated. Since the cow is a kosher species, it's fine. Now, so Tosfos says that's very nice. If it died by itself, it had a heart attack, it was a nevela. But let's say you took a knife and you just killed the animal without shchita, that's also by man. So he says, "Kiva de meisu shorim came in amusa b'ficha lav dafka ela min amusa b'ficha kamer." Rabbi Shua suggested like this. Obviously, if it died by itself, then the mashal takes effect, right? Is true. So therefore, we have to reinterpret the word "lemantia Torah Hashem b'ficha." That doesn't mean what goes actually into your mouth. It means the species. Oh, once it means the species, because this is more elevated. So then, even the one that you kill by a gun, or by that's also included, because once we already know that the pasuk doesn't mean that you're actually allowed to eat that species, that animal. It just means the species of the animal. So the Gemara says, "Elameato ye'achelu." So then, if they're so elevated, the Baitusi said, "So why don't you eat them?" Omalei ha'Torah omra lo yisaychlu kol nevela. The at omris ye'achelu. Okay, it's a very nice logic, but the logic doesn't override a pasuk in the Torah. Omalei kalos. Well said. Okay, says the Heilige Mishnah. Einoisin hilmi b'Shabbos. You can't prepare brine on Shabbos. Okay, we're going through the melachot over here. After shchita comes skinning, right? Afshata, and then ibud oiros. Ibud oiros is salting and tanning the hides. So you're not allowed to make a brine on Shabbos. Why not? Because it looks like you're doing it to pickle and preserve foods. So this is similar to tanning the hides, and therefore, and they're not going to be ready until, well, the Pashup Shad is they're not going to be ready until after Shabbat. Since they're not going to be ready after Shabbat, you're preparing. But you can prepare a little salt water. What's the difference between brine and salt water? We'll see soon. And put your bread inside of it. Or add it to the cooked food. Rabbi Yossi says, it's always the same thing. That's what brine is. Small, large, doesn't matter. It's always the same thing. But you know which type is mutter. Not if you prepare a little bit, but only noten shemen lechatchila l'toch hamayim or l'toch hamelach. If you first add a little oil to the water or to the salt before you mix the water and the salt together, then it's going to be okay. Because then it's weakened. Since the oil is there, it's not such a strong potency, and therefore you're not really creating a real salt water. Now, if you put the salt with the water first and then you add the oil, that's a problem. That's according to Rabbi Yossi. So the Gemara says, "Mai ka'omar." What does it mean, hilmi, and what does it mean, mei melach? What's the difference? Omer Rabbi Yehuda, Omer Shmuel Hacham, Einos mei melach merubin, aval oisu mei melach mu'at. You can't make a lot, but you can make a little bit. And that's why Rabbi Yossi said, what do you mean? What's the difference? A little or a lot? But the Tanakam holds there is a difference. Because if you make a lot, people think that you're going to be using it to pickle things for after Shabbat. If you make a little, everybody knows it's just for right now, for your bread, and that's okay. Rabbi Yossi said there's no difference. So the Gemara says, Iboilu. What did Rabbi Yossi mean? They're the same, meaning to say, he says, large and small amounts are all the same. Saying that what? That the large ones are just like the small amounts and it's okay? Or the small amounts are like the large amounts and it's not okay? Rabbi Yossi, lesser lahatir. Rabbi Yehuda lahatir. Midelektoni Rabbi Yossi Oiseh. Since Rabbi Yossi never says Rabbi Yossi, the Gemara Mishnah doesn't say Rabbi Yossi says it's asur. So what he's really saying is that it's all mutar. So you're telling me Rabbi Yossi, since he didn't say the word asur, he's just equating the large amounts to the small amounts. He's actually coming to say that everything is okay. Not like the Tanna Kama, which didn't allow the large amounts. Says the Gemara, how could that be? Look at the Sefer. The end of Rabbi Yossi's statement was, the Eluhei mei melach hamutarin. These are the salt waters that are okay. If you add the oil into either the salt or the water before you mix the salt to the water. Michlad Rabbi Yossi lesser. Elo Omer Rabba, you're right, lesser. He was coming to say that everything is asur. V'chein Rabbi Yochanan lesser. Rabbi Yochanan also explained Rabbi Yossi to say it's asur. Tanya Nami Hochi, and we also learned in a Braita, Einos in Melech Merubin. Latet tocha kvasha shebeserich gisro. You're not allowed to add mei melach, a lot of mei melach, to add into the kvashin. Kvashin are the vegetables that are being pickled. In the gistera, gistera are these shards, these large shards of broken vessels, which they use for pickling. Aval also hu mei melach mu'atim, but you can make a little bit amount for your bread, v'noten letoch hatavshil, or to add it to the cooked food. Omer Rabbi Yossi, listen to how the Braita says it, so it's pretty clear. V'chi mipnei shehalolu merubin v'halolu mu'atin, halolu asurin v'halolu mutarin. Is that going to make the difference if it's large or small? Yoimru melacha meruba asuro. Melacha mu'etes muteres. If you do that, and people will say, oh, if you do a large melacha, it's asur. Small, a little bit, flick the light on, little thing, small, a little light, a big is not like a big light. That's going to be mutar. Elo elu ve'elu asurin. They're both asur. The elu hein melach mutarin listen shemnu melach shemnu mayim v'ashlitin mayim melach lechatchila. See, clearly Rabbi Yossi says they're both asur in the Braita, and the only way to do it properly is if you add the oil into it first. Okay, we'll stop over here. Matai, Chazak Baruch, Chodesh Tov, Chodesh Shukayach.